Hey guys, Matt Jaramillo here from YARNTARIO. I am at the Pitzer Grove House in Pitzer College, Claremont, California. The Grove House is a historical house that they moved here on campus. It's beautiful. It's like this grand arts and craft home that they use kind of as a community center slash kitchen. Yeah, it's great. It's a wonderful resource for the local community and the colleges. So I am here to meet with the committee members and maybe do a collab of some sort. But while I'm here, the meeting doesn't start for like another hour, so I'll grab some yarn and I'm just gonna be crocheting. This is actually someone else started it. It was like some sort of bag bottom placemat, but I'm turning it into a basket. And it's being done out of like this kind of like Dalmatian chenille, which is kind of fun. But I'm gonna make it a little more stiff and probably put it around a container for a plant or to hold utensils of some sort. So if you feel like it, you can just watch me crochet for a little while. So there's this new technique that I'm trying. Normally when I do the ridge line, when I change direction from being flat and I want to start going up, normally I'll do like the back loop or the front loop depending on which way I need it to lean. So in this particular one, as I'm crocheting, it'd be the front loop and it'd help it lean and stand up. But there's another technique that I just recently saw. So it's hard to see in the stitches, but instead of doing like the front loop or the back loop, I'm actually doing the post of a single crochet around the post, because this has already been done in a single crochet, so I'm just following that. So you do it around the post, do a single crochet around the post, and you can see it naturally leans and gives this really nice kind of square box bottom. I don't know if you can see that on camera yet, but you'll see it as I work. But you can, yeah, like right there, there's a nice little like ridge. It's kind of interesting. I've only done it this first time. I think I'm already in love with it. This might be a new standard for me. So the rest of it, I will just let you watch me crochet, and whatever happens, happens. So I guess this is turning into a bit of a podcast by myself. If you can hear me, last night I went to the LA County Fair, and they are doing, they're kind of being, their motto this year, I think, or their theme is, something about art now, or art blast or something, but they are planning a canopy made entirely of granny squares, of 12 by 12 inch granny squares, and you can make a 12 by 12 inch granny square of your choice and send it to them and they will add it, or you can come to one of their like 8 workshops that they're hosting between like now and the end of February, I believe, maybe even March. And I went last night, and they had quite a large turnout. I just guesstimating maybe 30 people, and we all got together, and we're just hanging out crocheting. And there were a few people who didn't know what they were doing, so I taught them how to make a granny square. That was a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to making more. So if you would like to donate one, I would suggest you look on their website. It's lacountyfair.com. And Artistry in Motion or something, right? Like Artistry Now, something like it. Follow that image or follow them on Instagram or Facebook, and they post about it quite a bit because we're in the thick of like their workshops for it, which is a lot of fun. And I had a chance to speak to everybody. It looks like a lot of fun. Can't wait. I may be trying to get our group to volunteer and do some demos for the fair, which would be nice. You can go do a demo for 4 hours and then go play at the fair, which is really nice. I grew up around here, and the fair is pretty much in my blood, and it's a lot of fun. It's been changing over the years since they moved it from like September, beginning of school, end of harvest season, to something more appropriate weather, like in May, but that's kind of messed with all the vendors' timing, the baby animals, all of that harvest, traditional kind of California harvest scheduling. It's kind of messed with it, and it's like I think this is like year 3 or 4, and then with COVID, they're starting to find their footing again. And it seems to be becoming more of a modern fair, which is really exciting. So I'm continuing to work these single crochets around the post. Around the front post, I should say, not back post, from the front side. And from my angle, because I'm working from the inside of the basket right now, which I think I may have made a mistake doing that. Because I'm going to have to finish this from the inside as well. And whoever started this project also, pet peeve, they grabbed the yarn and started it from the outside of the ball, which is, for those of you who know, we like to start from the inside and pull out. This way it doesn't turn into a cat toy and bounce around, or it stays steady while you work. So, but who knows? Now I'm going to, this was started in spirals, so I think I will continue in spirals. But for the edge of this ridge, I think I will finish it off. And I will chain 1 to stand and go. And what shall we do here? Shall we do doubles? I have water. I'm good. Thank you. So now that I've done the front post, I'm just going to continue on a single crochet as normal. I'm going to lean back and get a little more relaxed. Also, I don't know if you can see my t-shirt. I'm a member to the Huntington Library and Gardens, and this is an illustration apparently from a female artist, and this was drawn within the margins of her books and artworks that the library owes the collection. And I've always been fascinated with it. It's like it's basically looks like a black widow spider on top of her hair bun, and she's got this beautiful nose and this neckline with a gem and the off-the-shoulder Victorian. It's pretty outstanding, and I love the line art. And I've had the shirt for like 4 years maybe. And I recently, during the holidays, was watching, as we do, the Harry Potter series again. And I believe it's in the 3rd movie. Forgive me if I'm wrong. It might be the Goblet. I'm not sure. But when Hermione, Ron, and Harry are in the library looking at Polyjuice Potion to plan whatever their next adventure is, when they open up the library book itself, the Polyjuice Potion, this image is there. So that's the connection with the Huntington Library and the Harry Potter films, is because they use this illustration as part of the Polyjuice Potion imagery. So I always thought that was cool. Or I just recently found that out, probably just around Christmas, and then I verified it. It's pretty cool. I think it's interesting. So I have been like a low-key Harry Potter cosplay all this time. So if you are watching this and have gotten this far, please like and subscribe. Especially to our Instagram account, which is the same, which is Instagram YARNTARIO. We are trying to build our digital following to 5,000. My goals for YARNTARIO are essentially education, outreach, and participation. So I always say, no matter what your skill level is, when you come in, I would like you to leave with some new bit of information that makes you a better, stronger knitter or crocheter. And if you don't have any skills, we will help you learn those skills and build on those skills. And currently, it is what, January 2025. It's, I think, what is it, the 23rd? 24th? It's the 24th. That means, for those of you who know, the grandbaby that's coming in June, the gender reveal party is tomorrow. Hopefully we won't burn down a forest. Bad joke, sorry, too soon, but yeah, we're all very excited. It's my son's first. So I'm sitting here currently waiting to pitch an idea to the Grove House Committee about YARNTARIO coming here on alternate days. Not to interrupt the Tuesday 6 to 8, but outside of that. It's another lovely resource that isn't another library for the moment, that is not a brewery, and that is not a more traditional coffee house. We've been looking for interesting spaces and trying to come up with ideas, and you know, restaurants and coffee shops are always kind of, traditional ones are kind of always difficult because there's like, you know, food and yarn and dessert and teas and cokes and drinks don't always go very well with your yarn, much less like table space and the expectations of like not hanging around for too long and kind of having to be on your way. So this place represents a wonderful resource that might be a really good fit. And I will be offering my services to the Grove House to include the students from from Pitzer and possibly the 5 colleges around, for those who would like to learn to knit and or crochet, or jump in on some of our, and if you know how to knit and crochet, jump in on some of our donation campaigns. And for instance, one of the policies I have with our group is, if you don't have a project, you're in between projects, don't feel like working on your project, need a break, something kind of numbing, we always say, grab some of our yarn, bring some of your own, and do a 9" by 9" granny square. And we save those up, and when we have 12, we make a blanket. And this past November, which is a video I still need to make, it's kind of sitting there in draft mode, but we made 31 blankets for the veterans this year. And for all of those new to the donating that are from the group, it was very exciting to see it kind of come to fruition. And when we handed them over to John, who is in charge of the Foreign Veteran Services, or the Veteran Services, to see 31 blankets all together in these kind of bohemian mismatch hodgepodge beautiful blankets, it was quite moving. It was more fulfilling than any of us had kind of anticipated. And we were happy to do it, and it made us excited about doing it again. And this year assessment, end of year assessment, was like, okay, what did we learn from this? That we were a little rushed. We didn't locate a partner to donate our squares to a project until I think mid-October, late October, and then we were finished by November with it. Our group hustled, which I'm very proud of, to get them all done, to meet the amount of squares, and then bind them, and then put borders on them. It was pretty fantastical. Oops, and while I'm talking, I think I digressed into the double crochets. I've been making way too many granny squares lately. So I am not counting this as part of my crochet day yet, my 30-day crochet challenge, but I already posted my video for that, but this is definitely included for today's crochet. So that makes me feel nice. You should join us in the 30-day crochet challenge. What's wonderful about it is, like, I think people in the beginning when they started, they're like, oh, I have to complete something every day. And it's not about that. It's more about developing the habit of knitting or crocheting. Well, in this particular case, crocheting, because it's the crochet challenge, is to, just pick it up for a half an hour, 45 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, whatever you have available for the day. And it's not about finishing the project. It's not about getting it to a point to where it looks nice to show it off. It's just about, hey, look, I did some work today and I'm building something. And it helps build that muscle of, like, let's just do this a little bit every day. And then for those of us who become a little obsessive and competitive, it's about Can I post it in the morning? Can I post it in the evening? Can I get it out there? Can I show other people what I'm doing? What am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do the next day? Especially when you finish a project and you're like, oh, what am I working on now? Quick, I have to grab something else. And that's why I always say, make a 9x9 square and donate it. And 9x9 squares are great for scrap projects, getting rid of yarn that you won't necessarily, what I wouldn't necessarily call a scrap, but not enough to do any other kind of project that you would really appreciate, or have enough to do something that you would really kind of like be really inspired by. So I didn't have markers today, so I just grabbed a piece of yarn and I put it over my lap, basically where I'm going to be. This is going to be my first stitch, so as I make my first stitch, it locks in the yarn, so that becomes my no cost marker, because we all have scraps. So how are you guys doing? Post something, tag me as YARNTARIO. Love to see what you're working on. Or especially if you're stretching your boundaries or you're stuck on something. Everybody likes to show, oh, look how beautiful, oh, look how cute this is, look how done I am, look how perfect it is. No, I like to see the frustration. I like to see people who are like, if you know, playing yarn chicken, let me know how you've your way of thought and what you did to solve it, and if you're satisfied with it, because it's all about being satisfied with your own work. Because those who don't do this and are on the receiving end of your work, they will always think it's beautiful and wonderful, usually. How are you? This is actually the yarn that I found upstairs in the donation center.
Oh, nice.
So someone had started this project, and I wasn't sure whether it was a placemat or something, but it was an oval, and I decided to turn it into a basket. Oh. So you guys can use it to like house something or put a potted plant in it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like if you want to keep it.
Maybe.
Also, yeah. This is going to take me a minute, so I'm not usually the one that leads this, but the person is gone right now, so we're gonna work through this together. And then my partner in crime will come, and Zen, and I'm sure you met, will also be here. So let's just see. So where are you coming from?
So I live in Ontario,
okay.
Historic Corridor, but YARNTARIO is based out of the City Ontario Library, the one downtown. Okay. Because we have two branches. We have that one and then the one about South Colony, which is near the high school, off of like South Ontario. Yeah, so not far, like 10 minutes.
That's so great. No, I'm really impressed.
Depending on what I'm doing, I can be really quick. Like the LA County Fair, the LA County Fair is doing this. They're doing like Art Explosion is like their theme this year or something or other, yeah. And they're also adding a crochet element to the home ec area. Oh, awesome. And so they've done this project where they're inviting everyone to come create, make, and workshop 12 by 12 granny squares. and they sew them all together to do the giant canopy, and it's gonna be beautiful. The last one they did was like 220 yards, and it was like it was like downtown Pomona, covered the entire street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was like 220.
yeah, that's like 2 football fields.
Exactly.
That's huge.
Wow.
I know. So like,
It's so funny that we always relate it to the football field.
I do the same thing because at our church they were.
Because I definitely don't sports ball.
And it's funny because they were like, we brought our 52-foot trailer because they were taking stuff for the fire victims, and I was like, did you say 52 foot? I'm like, that's like half a football field. I like turned my husband and he's like,
What?
why? He goes, why does everyone always associate football fields? I'm like,
Because they beat it into us in PE in high school. But it's a wonderful kind of almost global reference now.
Yeah. I wonder how big is a soccer field?
A pitch? I don't know. And it's called a pitch. That I know. That comes from like 10 years of my son being in soccer.
I'm gonna have to find someone who plays soccer though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just so I could throw that in there for them.
I do know they an average soccer game, a men's soccer game, they run anywhere from like 3 to 5 miles a game.
Wow.
Like soccer's about running, not about kicking a ball.
No, if you get to kick or get near the ball, you're like awesome.
Yeah.
You did great.
You're doing great.
How old is your son?
He's 30. He'll be 32 in May,
Oh my goodness.
and he is expecting his first in June.
Congrats.
So it's the first time in a long time I will have a definite intention of crocheting and knitting things.
Oh, yay.
In fact, we're having the gender reveal party tomorrow.
Whoa.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Oh, another thing, with the fair and stuff, like donations, like the LA County Fair housed a lot of the larger animals for like the fires and dogs and stray stuff. So donating like crocheted blankets for like horse blankets and dog blankets. So if you have old blankets like where am I going to do with this? It's a great place to send it.
I'll tell my sister-in-law. She was just saying she has a bunch of like. This was before all this too. She was like, I have a bunch of like baby stuff I need to. When I should go on the internet, like there's a lot of families who probably need it.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's hard because a lot of them are like, oh, we want new stuff, and it's like, well, you know, not everyone has.
I think they say that on the front end, but in the back end, like a lot of people will just
So if
they'll
someone
make use
lost
they'll make
everything,
yeah
they'll
they'll make
be
use of
like,
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll make use of it.
Like, in all honesty, if I was like Goodwill's, I would just be like, here's like $1,000 voucher. Like,
Yeah.
go get what you need. You know?
And I'm sure there's someone with the state and giving like a tax break or an incentive for these thrift stores, like pull all your jackets, pull all your shoes, like get them to where they need to go.
Evie said that she's like her meeting's running a little late.
Oh,
She'll leave early, but
She's fine.
we could start.
Yeah, we don't have a huge order of business. I think Strider's going to stop by to talk about Citrus Fest, and then a few other things that we were discussing regarding
I'm going to turn off the video now. The meeting's starting.
between